Well, I didn't start the sport till I was 33, almost 34.
Mhm.
Half of my career was my 40s. I fought from till I was 47. I fought for 14 years. And I think because I had still been competing at a high level on the national team in Greco and in wrestling, going to the nationals, going to the trials every single year, going through camps, national team camps and stuff, my fitness level was still very high, and I was still competing at a high level on the wrestling mat. So when I transitioned to MMA and juggled both of those balls for a while, I think it allowed me some longevity that maybe if I was an athlete that wasn't in that high or good a shape,
Mhm.
I might not have been able to go as long as I went. Honestly, it's so hard to say. There's so many variables. Genetics plays a role. I think I've been very fortunate. I haven't had any serious injuries that took me out for very long. The knees held up. Most of the joints held up, and that's what I see. Guys get hurt.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing I see is this big upswing and downswing. They train, they peak for a fight, and then they celebrate and don't train for 3-4 weeks, and there's this big dip. And then they get another fight. So now they're back on the training journey. And it's that big lull in the bottom when now they're trying to get their body back in shape so they can get back up to fight shape to go compete, where I see these injuries start occurring.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of stress on their bodies because they're not maintaining a more constant level, fitness level, when they're not staring a fight in the face. I just love to train so much. It was a blast being in the gym, especially learning jiu-jitsu and learning Muay Thai and all this other stuff that I'd never done. I felt like a kid in a candy store. I couldn't wait to get back on the mat. And I think that regularity, I was older, so I didn't need to go out and party or celebrate or any, I was already with the people that I cared about and that cared about me. A lot of that went away when I was in my 20s. And I look back and think, man, imagine what I might have accomplished in a sooner time frame had I not been celebrating as much as I was in my early 20s up through my mid 20s. Maybe if I'd have been more dedicated in those in between times, I would have peaked and accomplished some things earlier in my career. But I did it the way I did it, and I can see and recognize the difference between the two states of mind.
Mhm.
In my 30s, I was very focused. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Chasing girls, going to the clubs or partying wasn't part of that at all. So I think, you can't burn the candle at both ends. You stay focused, burn it as hot as you can burn it on one end and let the rest of that stuff go. Keep your fitness level high, even in between fights. That's when you learn new skills and put
Yeah.
yourself in new situations, not when you're getting ready to fight somebody, but in those in between times when you don't have an opponent staring you in the face. I think that's when you make your most growth, have the most fun, try the most new things you can try, and try to make them yours and implement them into your style, who you are. I think I'm glad and fortunate that I didn't get into this sport till I was 33, almost 34. I was an adult. I was settled in who I am and what I wanted and what my goals were. And none of the other stuff got in the way. And I think if I'd have tried to do this in my late teens or early 20s, it might have been a different deal. I might have been distracted by the fame, by a bunch of the other crap that kind of comes with this public world.
Mhm.